Sean Sanby. You're watching From the Cape with Bass, hosted by Daniel Peterson.
Good day, everybody. We're here today with great bass player Sean Sanby.
Thank you very
Sean,
much.
thank you so much for allowing us in your space here, man. Can you tell us what your first musical experience was?
My first musical experience. It's a difficult one, I'd say. Just music has always kind of been there in a part of my life. I've got two older sisters, and they always played piano, and they were always just like playing in the house and that. So there was music always there, and in terms of concerts, we'd always go to check out, and just the general music around. And there was City Hall, and in school there was lots of music, and it was just something that like really grasped me and like resonated. Like I could feel it was something I was always drawn to. It always like caught my ear, and I'd be interested more in it, and like be a lot more drawn to like figure out what's happening inside it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Can you tell us why you chose the bass guitar? What stood out for you from the low end?
The bass for me, it's the foundation at the beneath everything, which it gives you a lot of freedom, because the pianist can be playing one chord, and you can say that's a nice chord, but I'm actually going to make you play a different chord just from having that lower extension and that. And yeah, just finding that space between harmony and rhythm as well. It's really got that thing of you can interlock and play with the drummer, and you can move to the pianist, and your role as a bassist is to kind of link those two. And it was also something that really, it was in the back, and I didn't really want to be like the front man or the singer and that. So it was like, cool, I can go and do there. And it was always like, I realized the bassist was always like a really cool guy, like whenever, or just like a really cool person. And it was like, cool, I wanna be doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, question from my side now, like, when did you actually decide that bass is the instrument that you wanna play?
It was more because I had started with piano and guitar in early in school.
Okay.
And then a new teacher had just come, and he was like, hey, don't you want to play the bass? Because he saw me play guitar. And I was like, cool, less strings, he was an
Less
amazing
work.
player. Well, less work as well, but it was like less work, and it sounds so much better. There's so much more to it. And so I'd started bass in about grade 7 or 8.
Okay.
And through that, it was kind of it really stuck, I guess, on me.
Okay, cool. Musical education. Who was your first bass teacher? Did you go to somebody's house, or did you go to a school? What
Yeah,
was it at school that you learned?
Yeah, it was at school. There was a teacher, Alexis Dubois.
Okay.
He was at my junior school, and I moved on to Terence Scar, taught me for a few years, and I've had lots of great mentors, I'd say, or like fortunate enough to come into contact with lots of people.
Okay.
My first double bass teacher was Wesley Ruston,
Okay.
who I think really set me on that path, because he was teaching me electric, and he could see that I was in, and I wanted to be there, and he pushed me to start double bass, and I was like, that's cool, and I went and checked it out, and I started playing, and it was just a whole nother beast. It was like the same warmth and love of electric bass, except it was this massive instrument which now like resonates against you, and I think that also was a big moment, I guess. Yeah. Other teachers. So Wesley. Oh, cool. After Wesley, I also got in touch with Romy Bratseth, who, when she stayed down in Cape Town, also just an amazing double bassist with such a great feel, and knowledge for the music, and what's happening there. I'd say my biggest guru that I had the opportunity with studying with was Hein van der Geyen, who I spent some time at UCT with, and he really, he's one of those the wizards, the really great that have been there in the time they played with the people, and
Okay.
yeah. And then Sean Johannes as well. He taught me a bit in college. Yeah.
Okay, nice man. Um, Out of the Candle. That's your album that you released.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that and also about the artist Nabuhle Ashanti that you play with? But first and foremost, your album. When did you release it and how did you come about releasing an album?
Yeah. So I released the album. It's just over a year ago, a year and a month ago.
Okay.
It was released early March in 2020, about 2 weeks before lockdown, which was
Oh,
great
okay.
timing. Um, but yeah, it was how it came about was I'd finished studying, um, and all writing has always been a part of kind of what how I approach music, whether it was no matter the instrument really, but just writing and spending time with music and harmony to create something new, and that's really I was always inspired by others to create as well.
Mm.
Um, and so when I got to the end of my studies, I realized there was quite a mass of music that I could choose from, and there was almost a storyline where that I could see in the music and kind of with myself in how I'd gone through college.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it was just the right time in that way where things were lined up. I got in some work doing a musical, um, so I was able to spend some time in studio, and yeah, be able to work with the guys that I have. Yeah, in my band, I got to work with Brathy van Skalkwyk
Mm.
on piano. He's an amazing pianist. Damien Kameneth on drums.
Okay.
Um, Jesse Julies on tenor sax.
Okay.
Munib Hermans on trumpet, and Bradley Prince on guitar.
Okay.
So quite a range of like the upcoming real hitters in Cape Town and that.
Okay.
And yeah, they really gave something special to the music and
Mm.
really added another element that I never, I wouldn't say expected, but it was so enjoyable and cool working with them
Mm.
to find out how the music in my mind then translated to try and share it with other people to create
Yeah.
something new.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really enjoyed that process. And the album in that way is also just my out of the candlelight for me is like the thing of potential,
Yeah, yeah.
and a candle lights another candle lights
Wow.
that, and so it's almost seeing what that deciding that I wanted to do music and that this was where I was putting my time in that to really get into this is what I'm going to do, and release the album and
Mm.
forge that path forward wherever it may go.
So tell me, the album, is it available on all
It's available
platforms?
everywhere. Yeah, Spotify, Deezer, YouTube, Apple Music. You can find it.
Okay.
Also in Bandcamp, it's available. I've got physical copies available if you want.
Mm.
People can just get in touch with me. Um, yeah.
Nabuhle Ashanti. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Nabuhle is an artist I've worked with for quite a few years now. We actually grew up together, went to the same church, and yeah, it's been great also following her in her musical path, and she's
Mm.
also a great writer, and a great instrumentalist. And we've really enjoyed creating music together.
Mm.
Um, some other artists coming up that I've spent quite a bit of time with, Tefo Mahola,
Mm.
who's also he released his album last year, First Offering.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and who else? Blake Halaby, I've done a lot of work with. We've been gigging since about was first year for me, which is about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
Which is quite a mad to think that long now. But he's also a really great musician and has released multiple albums
Mm.
um, in over the past years.
Oh.
And also someone really good to check out, Blake
Okay.
Halaby. Yeah.
Cool, man. Your gear that you're using, can you tell us about that, please?
My gear. Yeah. So this is my baby, my TRB. It was my first. I think yeah, my first bass was a Chord action bass, four
Mm.
string, just the one that does the work and like gets it just proves the love. And then this was my first real investment into to getting things, and just has such a great sound. It's so reliable.
Yeah.
And I kind of use this for my sound, my project. Um, and I run into a pedal board, which I've put together myself.
Okay.
And that is, I've got a Dunlop mini volume pedal, an Aguilar optimizer, a Zoom B3N multi effects, which is nice for a lot of the reverbs and like subtle modulations and a few delays. It's also nice because it has a built-in looper,
Okay.
which is cool because I've got another looper, the Ditto looper,
Yeah.
so I can run two loops
At the same time.
at the same time, kind of. And then at the end of the chain, I've got a freeze pedal, which is really nice for just sustaining things and creating drones and textures and that. So yeah, there's quite a lot of versatility and freedom to change things up and do some solo stuff and take the music places and that. Yeah, and then I've got one or two other basses for more session work if it's in the background. Yeah, I've got a Yamaha BB, and then fretless and that. Yeah, and I've always played through Mark Bass. Kind of, they're my love for amps. And,
Okay.
always just never have to fight for a sound really.
Okay. And then I see you the upright as well. Then.
Yeah, the upright's my baby, my love. There's it's a beast you have to fight with and work with every day because it shows you yourself.
Yeah.
Really, like with the amount of physicality involved in it as well. It can really test yourself sometimes. But it's still it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean, do you have any advice for young up-and-coming bass players and musicians out there?
Ooh. Yeah, I would say to just put in the work and fall in love, because there's no real other shortcuts, and the paths to really enjoy are those times that is the amount of time taken to get there genuinely.
Yeah.
So, and to just enjoy that, because you'll often find people striving and striving and striving forward, which is great, and it's awesome to have that passion to be moving forward, but you also need to be enjoying what you're doing and the journey, and be comfortable where you are at, because immediately as you become more comfortable, your playing becomes like it opens up. And so yeah, to find that balance between pushing yourself forward and just enjoying where you are.
Wow. Sean, Sanby, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for making time for me and from the Cape of Bass. Godspeed on your journey, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you so much for liking and sharing this video with your fellow bass community. Please follow From the Cape with Bass on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you so much.